think fitness is for everyone. Not every type of fitness is for everyone, but there is a fitness activity for everyone. Hello, everybody. So, first things first, if you are watching on YouTube, you can probably see, and if you're listening on podcast, you can probably hear the new crispiness of this podcast. And that is from my brand new microphone. So very excited to produce higher audio quality for you guys. Second on the list of things we need to cover, if you want to get to the meat of the matter, go ahead and skip to this time of the video, or I will leave the time down below in the show notes if you're listening on podcast. If you don't want to go over the business, fun, life-related things that don't have to do with the topic that we're covering today. But I will say, whether it's health or fitness, life happens. And so talking about the hobbies that you like to do or stuff that comes up in life, that's just going to be the reality of your journey of healing from disordered eating, healing your relationship with food, getting into a groove of physical activity, learning how to eat healthy. But skip ahead if you'd like. If not, let's keep going. So, second of all, to my 30 or so subscribers who probably subscribed when the name of this podcast was Over for Coffee, you may have noticed that it's no longer Over for Coffee. And let me explain. So, one morning several weeks ago, I got an email from my podcast distributor saying that they got an email from an entity saying that, hey, we noticed that this podcast recently started, has a name very similar to ours, and our name is copyrighted, so to avoid copyright infringement, we would like them to change their name. So my podcast distributor let me know, and as soon as I read that email, I'm like, I'm not even going to argue. I'm just going to change it because Over for Coffee had a meaning personal to me. However, if someone were to just see the podcast name or the YouTube channel name Over for Coffee, they'd be hard-pressed to just automatically know what my content's going to be about. So I already had used this name in the past, and I checked on the U.S. copyright website to make sure no one already had this name. But as you can see now, it is I'm Bringin' Healthy Back. Now, it is a play on I'm Bringin' Sexy Back, the Justin Timberlake song from the 2010s era. And I think that's a very fitting name because when I first used that title, that's what I wanted to do. Like, I was in a very unhealthy time of my life and I wanted to be healthy again. So if you're here, there's a good chance that you want to be bringing healthy back too. That is the explanation for the name change and the new name. Will I continue to drink coffee on the podcast? Yes. The past 2 or 3 episodes, I was not drinking coffee. Today, I'm not drinking coffee. I am drinking plain water out of a repurposed peanut butter jar. It's a glass peanut butter jar. So, on that note, I've recently also gotten more passionate about reading, and I've always read, but like in high school and in college, I had to read. I had to read books for English class. I had to read my textbooks so that I could do well in the class. But now I'm not having to read textbooks and I can read what I want to read. So, first book I was reading was Devil in the White City, and it has to do with the serial killer who was prominent during the Chicago World's Fair. Now, if you're a true crime enthusiast, don't go out and get the book quite yet. I think the book is somewhat mismarketed because under the title, it mentions, and I'm paraphrasing, like it's about the murder during the Chicago World's Fair. So you think it's going to be focused on the murder and the goings-on related to that. But it's not. Majority of the book is about the World's Fair and the men who are involved in it in the lead up to the World's Fair, the good and the bad of the World's Fair, the success and the failures of the World's Fair, and then the end cleanup of the World's Fair. And then the murder and murderer isn't as part of it. So I was interested in the World's Fair, and I'm interested in true crime. So the book worked for me, but I was a little disappointed at how much it lacked the true crime aspect. So that's The Devil in the White City. And then 2 or 3 years ago, I had started reading Uncle Tom's Cabin in a book club. And then we never finished it. So I decided to take it up on my own. So a couple months ago, I started rereading it, and it's a good book. It's not a fun book. Like, I laughed a little. I definitely cried a little. But if you know about Uncle Tom's Cabin, this book was published in the 1850s, and it's written by Harriet Beecher Stowe. And Uncle Tom is a slave who belonged to a family who treated their slaves well, considering the circumstances, but his owner sold him to clear debts. So it follows Uncle Tom, and it follows a few other slaves who are still owned, who've escaped, and it's very much written to show the audience how slavery is wrong, basically. And so it's considered a classic book. It's a bit of a heavy book, but I think it was worth the read. So going from that, I wanted something a little bit less heavy. So I had this book on my bookshelf that had been gifted at least 10 years ago. I was maybe in middle school, could have been elementary school. I don't think I was in high school. It's called Inkheart, and it's published by Scholastic. It's like children's Scholastic. And so I don't even think it's a young adult book. I think it's not a children's book. Like, it's like 500 pages, but it's a fantasy book. And so that's what I'm into right now. And I think the reason I never started reading it was because fantasy wasn't something I considered something that was my taste. Like, I preferred books that followed around someone like my age, maybe older, just like through their day-to-day life. It was not fantasy. Maybe you would call it like drama or like romantic comedies for preteens, kind of those books. And then I got into like murder mystery, those kind of books. So I finally picked up Inkheart, and I have been enjoying that. Like, it doesn't even bother me that it's considered a children's Scholastic book. Like, there's no swearing, there's no like romance in it. I mean, I'm 200 pages in and I haven't come across any, which I'm just fine with. And it's kind of just fun to see where it's going to go. It's kind of an original concept to me because I'm not used to reading fantasy books. Aside from Harry Potter. I read Harry Potter. Now, whilst reading Inkheart, I am also reading a more modern murder drama, I would consider it. And it's called Death and Croissants. So it's set in France, and this gentleman who's in his 50s owns this B&B, and one of his maids, or the maid, finds a bloody handprint in one of the bedrooms, and then the owner and the maid and someone who's staying at the B&B go to investigate, and the owner finds a bloody pair of broken eyeglasses in the bathroom garbage. And then they leave that room, and for some reason they end up going back, and the bloody handprint had been cut out of the wallpaper on the wall and taken along with the bloody eyeglasses that were in the garbage. So something nefarious is going on, and the owner of the B&B also has some chickens. One's name is Ava Gardner, one's name is Joan Crawford, and the other one has a name that I don't remember. But I'm only 5 chapters in at this present moment, so things are still ramping up, but I have high hopes for it to be like murder mystery drama, but with some comic relief in it, because there are lay people investigating. So we'll see how that goes. What else? Baby cactus is over there. I only have 2 hands, so today it's holding my water. But I think we'll get into the meat of the matter. I feel like fitness has been part of my life my entire life, and imagining a life without activity just is a very foreign thought to me. Growing up, even starting from when I was young, my parents, after supper, would take me and my siblings and we would go for a walk every night after supper. And so nothing crazy, just gentle walking, just some activity. We did it as a family. And then I got into group sports. This was before like school sports. I think the first sport I played was t-ball, and then that turned into softball. And then I got involved in soccer, and I played that for several years. And then we had gym class in grade school, middle school, and the beginning of high school. And then I played some more. I played basketball. I played some more. I played sports mostly through high school, except my senior year. I didn't play sports, but my senior year was when I was in possibly the worst part of my binge eating. And so towards December of my senior year, I started wanting to get into weightlifting. So in the new year, I got a gym membership to my local gym, and I started just kind of experimenting with my workouts, walking, running, using some of the machines, and I eventually got into the free weights, the squat rack. And then in college, there were a couple club sports that I played in college, and I also took some PE classes during college. And so there had always been a foundation for me for being active, whether it was just when I was young, we just go for a walk after supper, and it was great. Or through school, it was just like everyone plays a school sport. So, and then in college, I had to take some PE credits, and then I wanted to be in a club, and I just happened to be in a sports club because it was a sport I enjoyed playing. And then after that, I had come to like weightlifting. And so I stayed weightlifting. And then after college, I had gone to my chiropractor, and I don't go to the chiropractor regularly, but I go when I feel the need to. And my chiropractor at the time had asked me if I did yoga. And I was like, no, I don't do yoga. And I went to him like several times, and I think he would bring it up every time. And when I say several times, I literally mean like maybe 4 or 5 times I went to him. And at that time, I was going to a local gym, and within my membership, they had a little studio in their gym, and they offered free fitness classes. So there was spin class, there was yoga, there were probably a couple other ones, but I decided, I was just going to try out a yoga class because it was free. I was already paying for my membership. If I didn't like it, I could just stop going. So I started going. It was about once a week, so I'd go almost every week. And there ended up being 2 teachers, so I started with one, and she was really good for beginners, like going really slow, really explaining like the postures and the movements. And then the other one was more of an intermediate yoga class, and so a little more intense, like flowing faster and challenging us with more challenging positions. And So that is how I got into yoga. And then ended up moving, and my local gym didn't offer that. And I didn't want to pay extra for yoga classes, but that brings me basically up till today. And I still like to walk. Sometimes when I go to the gym, I'll just walk. But weightlifting and yoga, and I kind of ebb and flow what workout I'm doing depending on kind of the season of the year that I'm in. And so coming back to how to get into fitness. So for me, I just have always had a foundation that's just always been part of my life, whether it was family going for a walk, me maybe being signed up for sports to like socialize with children my age, getting into school sports because you want to fit in with your classmates, in college getting involved with clubs because you like that activity, but also like you also want friends. And then now it just being very important for me because I've realized how important it is to keep our bodies moving because it keeps our body healthy, it keeps our mind healthy, and it's just good to move your body. But I know there are some people who grew up more or less without fitness, a lot of sedentary activities, sedentary hobbies, now maybe a sedentary career. And so how do you get into fitness? Sometimes the challenge is finding what is the best activity for you. So if you're going to get into fitness, don't go 0 to 60. Don't think you have to run. Don't think you have to weightlift. Don't think you have to do Pilates classes. Additionally, you don't have to go somewhere and pay to exercise. Now, if you have those resources and you want to do that, more power to you. But I would say start slow and experiment. How much time do you have to work out? If you have a half hour, if you have 15 minutes, you can start with going for a walk. Or if you want to be a runner, go for a jog. If you are intimidated by working out with other people or other people seeing you trying to go for a jog outside, maybe start at home. Again, you don't necessarily have to buy any equipment. You don't have to buy a yoga mat. You don't have to buy weights. Start at home, maybe with some body weight exercises. And if you don't know how to, like what to do, YouTube is a great resource. And if you don't want to use YouTube for some reason, you can just Google at-home body weight exercises, at-home body weight workouts. If you Google or YouTube body weight at-home workouts, there may be a plan put together for you to have like an at-home leg day with like wall sits, squats, lunges. Or you have an upper body day that's like incorporating push-ups and different variations of push-ups. You can find core workouts. And I like calling them core workouts instead of ab workouts because your core goes very deep. It's not just surface level like six-pack abs, your whole core. But I digress. If you want to work out at home and you can and want to spend a little bit of money, another option would be to, if you want to work out at home and you don't want to spend money, going on YouTube and try different things. Try a Zumba workout. Try just like a dance workout. Try jazzercise workout. There are so many at-home workout videos out there that it gives you the chance to try out different things. I'm sure you could find one for Pilates or at-home aerobics that require no additional equipment. YouTube is your friend. Then if you do want to pay a little money and get some equipment for at home, you could get a yoga mat if you want to do Pilates or yoga. And again, YouTube for Pilates workouts and yoga workouts. A set of weights can be expensive, but if you Google at-home workouts with one weight set, or like say you just get 5-pound dumbbells, or you just get 10-pound dumbbells, or you just get 20-pound dumbbells, depending on you and where you're at right now, There are a lot of workouts that you can find that require you just need one pair of weights that you can use for the entire workout. Some other things that you can do at home, you can buy a jump rope. That is a really good cardio workout. And if you're just starting out with fitness, I would not recommend putting down a lot of money to get an elliptical or a treadmill or anything that's big and bulky and takes up space and costs hundreds of dollars, if not $1,000 or more. I would not do that right away, because what if you don't like that? What if you get bored with running? What if you get bored with the elliptical and it ends up being a coat rack? Now, that's why fitness can be fun, but you're not going to end up doing the same fitness routine that I do. You're not going to do the same fitness routine that your neighbor does. Luckily, there are so many options of physical activities that you can do that are low impact or high impact, that just get you moving, that get your heart rate up and you're sweating. There are exercises that you can do that you can start putting on muscle, or maybe you just want your heart to be really strong and you have really good endurance. You don't have to do the popular workouts. You don't have to lift weights. You don't have to go running. Experiment with different exercises and find something that you may not like it the first day you do it. But if you give it a few tries and you start to get stronger and you start to learn how to do things right, and you decide like, I want to do this. I want to keep doing this for a long term. Then you can make more investments into paying for an annual gym membership, buying a treadmill. If you do find you really love running and you can't always run outside, buying a weight set to be at home. If you are comfortable going out to a gym, some gyms offer a free week membership for you to try them out. Take advantage of that. Go in, see if you like the gym. If you're new to the gym and you're comfortable, you can ask someone. You can ask maybe the manager, or maybe they have a personal trainer on hand, just to give you an idea of where to start. Or again, look up on YouTube, try to find someone who is maybe certified, just so personal trainer certified, so that you know you're doing the workout correctly. Give it a try. See how you like the environment. See if you enjoy weightlifting. See if it's sustainable for you financially and time-wise. And are you actually going to follow through and keep doing it? Now, along your fitness journey, especially when you're starting to get into it, be sure to give yourself grace. And what I mean by that is you try something out, you don't like it, it's okay. Give yourself time to try different activities, see what is feasible for you financially and time-wise. And it's okay if things aren't going to work for you. It's okay if you don't want to do the HIIT workout. It's okay if you don't want to weightlift. But can you be willing to try at-home Zumba workouts, at-home Pilates workouts, just going for a walk? Maybe just doing a body weight exercise is all you need. Maybe just stretching every day. And your workout doesn't have to be an hour long. It doesn't have to be 45 minutes long. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes long. If you can get 15 minutes of movement in a day, that's better than no movement at all. We are not meant to be sitting all day. Moving helps so much. It helps our bones, our muscles, our joints, our digestive system, our mind, our heart. And so there's value in finding some sort of movement, however gentle, however intense. You want it to be what you enjoy. So give yourself grace and time to try new things and find what you enjoy and what would be sustainable for you. Then also give yourself grace to be a beginner. You may go to the gym, You may be doing your at-home workout video, and the trainer, the people around you at the gym are stronger, they're moving faster, they're stabler when they're doing their yoga poses than you are right now. The thing is, everyone was a beginner. So remember that. You're starting out, you're not at the same place as everyone else. Everyone is trying to work and develop. Some people are just maintaining their current fitness, and that's okay. So try to remember that and try not to get discouraged. Additionally, getting into fitness, you don't always need special equipment. Now, when it comes to clothing, you may not need special clothing. If you've found that you just want to go for a walk, that is great. You may want some nice shoes that don't give you blisters, that don't squish your foot too much, that hold your foot in place, that are supportive enough for what you need. So footwear is important. Now, if you're doing yoga and Pilates, you don't need shoes. Clothing, you may want some shirts and some either sweatpants or leggings or shorts that you're okay sweating in. Ladies, if you're doing really sweaty workouts, sports bras are really nice. Or if you're doing high intensity workouts where you're running and jumping, a nice supportive sports bra would be a good investment. And name brand sportswear can be really awesome. It can look great. It can feel great. It can cost a lot of money. So if you're just starting out, maybe just get one workout set if you need to. I don't want a financial restriction to stop anyone from being active. That's why being at home and doing at-home workouts, whether it just be some push-ups, some squats, some planks, in your underwear, in your bedroom. If that's what you can do right now, if that's where you're at right now, that's great. If it makes you feel good and you feel fulfillment after doing that, that is great. If you don't have the money to buy some new walking shoes, what are some shoes that you're comfortable like walking around the grocery store in? As long as they don't hurt your feet and they're not going to give you blisters, go for your walk in those. You don't have to be power walking. A leisurely walk is better than no walk at all. Some sweatpants and a t-shirt to do your at-home workout in front of the TV, being led by your instructor on the TV, that's great. You don't have to go out and buy 5 pairs of new socks, pair of new shoes, 5 pairs of shorts, 5 pairs of leggings, 5 sports bras, 5 performance material t-shirts. You don't have to do that. It can be nice and it can be fun, and there can be benefits of how certain clothing fits and feels, but it is not necessary. So another thing I don't want you to be discouraged by is the look. You're going to the gym, you're going to a yoga class or a HIIT class or an aerobics class for the class. Yeah, there are going to be people out there who are like, why are they working out in that? That attitude, if people have that, is really unfortunate. So I want to encourage you to just try to focus on if you are going out and you don't have the best and the greatest workout clothes, not everyone is judging you about that. There are people who are going to see you and internally they're going to be cheering you on. Because I enjoy fitness, and when other people I see people being active, I'm like, go you. I want people to be healthy, and so don't let your non-typical gym wear, fitness gear, outfit deter you from going and moving your body. One thing I will encourage you to have, which you probably already have, is a water bottle. Having music can be great because if you can get some headphones, listen to some tunes while you're working out, that can push you, that can pump you up, that can distract you from other people around you. You can just kind of get in the zone, focus on what you're doing. Listening to music can be great. Some people will listen to audiobooks, some people listen to podcasts, whatever you like to listen to while you're getting your exercise in, go for it. Now, you find a workout that you really like. You find movement that you really like. Say it's stretching and mobility movement. That's what you like to do. or you like to weightlift, or you like to do spin class. Great. Now, what happens if you get into a slump where you like don't have the energy, you don't want to do it? Give yourself grace. Think about why you haven't wanted to. Is there something going on in life? Are you tired? Have you gotten lazy? Because things happen, things come up. And maybe you just need to switch it up. Yoga and weightlifting are the two main movements that I incorporate into my life. Weightlifting is the biggest one. And lately, like maybe the past month, I really haven't wanted to leave the house. Like I leave the house when I need to leave the house. Other than that, I just kind of want to stay in the house. So with that, I haven't wanted to go to the gym, but I know I need to move. So even going for a walk by myself, I don't want to do because that requires me to leave the house. So one thing I've gotten back into yoga. And another reason for that is yoga helps me strengthen my joints. Like I can feel the difference when I personally do vinyasa flow workouts. So it's not the meditative type yoga. It's very much movement, strength, stability. So that I can pick, you can find yoga workouts from 10 minutes to an hour, give or take either side of that. And so I'll just roll out my yoga mat. I'll find maybe a 30-minute workout yoga practice, and I'll just go through that. And I do push myself because you're not always going to want to work out. So people might say, you just need to get motivated, or you just need to be more disciplined. And I agree with both of those. You're not always going to feel motivated. I think discipline is a great thing to cultivate. I also think your body may tell you when you need to rest, and sometimes you need to listen to it. So getting into fitness, you don't have to go hard 7 days a week. You may be able to do what you like to do 7 days a week and it not bother you. Going for a walk, stretching, whatever movement you decide to incorporate may be low intensity, and you can do it every day and you feel great. Now, if you're going to start weightlifting and some days you're going to feel sore, some of these muscles you've never used before, you may have loaded weight and tension onto muscles, and it's going to take some time for your body to recover and you need to rest. It's okay to take rest days. It's okay to incorporate gentle movement of just walking or just stretching on days where you decide not to do your high intensity workout. So getting into fitness doesn't have to be every single day. If you are brand new, you're not used to doing any sort of exercise, start with maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Just getting used to a routine of setting dedicated time aside to move your body on this day and this day. And then maybe after a month, you can do 3 days a week if you have the time. And then if you want to and you feel the benefit and you decide it's the right thing for you and it feels good, you can increase 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Maybe you're moving 7 days a week, which is great, which I think having active rest days is important. If you're a weightlifter and you take 1 day off a week, maybe you're still going to go for a walk after supper on your rest day. That's okay. Like walking is a very normal thing that you can do every single day. And then again, give yourself grace when you do need more rest a certain week. Maybe you can only get 1 workout in 1 week. Maybe you can get 5 days in the next week. Maybe you can get 2 days in the next week. It's okay to ebb and flow. It doesn't have to be perfect, the exact same thing every day, every week, every month, every year. Life happens. Circumstances change. You change. You might find something that you like more. You may go a couple months doing a different activity than you had been for a couple years. It's okay to change, but I think it's important to keep moving. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. That's why if you get out of your routine of moving, of working out, of exercising, it can be hard to get back into it because you're so used to coming home and sitting down and doing what you need to do. And then you're just like, I'm tired. And then you sleep and then you get up and then you go to work. And then it's just a cycle that repeats. You may need to push yourself to get back into routine. Or maybe you're going to get into a new routine. Like I said, maybe you need a little bit of a break from weightlifting. Maybe mentally going and working out with other people or in front of other people, you're struggling with right now. So maybe you just do a gentle at-home exercise, or you go for a walk, or maybe you ask a friend to go with you for a walk. There are people out there, like myself, who enjoy working out by themselves. But there are some people who really thrive more when they have someone to work out with them, someone to go for a walk with them, someone to weightlift with them, someone to go to a fitness class with them. If you have someone who if you are someone who kind of needs a buddy to go with them, maybe you have a friend, a sibling, a spouse, that together, maybe you guys don't do the exact same thing, but maybe you decide to go to the gym together. Someone runs, someone weightlifts. Or maybe you both weightlift, but one is going to use the machines, one's going to use the free weights, or whatever it may be. That is something to consider. If you are someone who needs an accountability partner, look for someone you can take with you who also wants to get their fitness on. But sometimes what happens if you go to fitness classes or you go to the gym, you may find a new friend. And it might just be your gym friend. You don't do anything outside of your fitness class or weightlifting or whatever it may be. You find someone, you end up going around the same time, that can spot for you, that you can converse with before and after class. That does happen. So that can be an encouragement for you. You can seek out a friend, acquaintance, workout acquaintance as you become a regular in whatever activity you decide to take time and do. So if I can put that all together, in summary, how to get into fitness. Start simple. You don't have to buy new things. You don't have to pay for things. Start slow. Start with low weights. Start slow jogging. Start with a short distance going for a walk. Start with beginner classes. Start with what you have. You don't have to go buy a whole new wardrobe. You don't have to go buy new equipment yet. You may want to, but maybe not yet. Sample different exercises. Sample new gyms, sample new classes, sample new home body weight workouts, sample different YouTube workout videos. Switch it up. You don't have to stick with the first thing you do. If you don't like it, put that at the bottom of your card deck and go to the next card. Try it out. Stick with something. Once you find something that you decide like, hey, I like this, and I'd like to keep doing it for at least now. It's okay if you switch it up in the future, but stick with it. And then see how you change. Maybe it's physically, maybe it's mentally, maybe it's in your productivity, maybe it's in your sleep, maybe it's in your mindset of what is possible in life. Maybe it's a mindset shift in like, sometimes after you work out, you want to make better choices. And that may just be with your food. That may be with your finances. That may be with how you're spending your time. But kind of take an audit of like, just notice how you feel afterwards. And then give yourself grace. It's okay to not like things. It's okay to be a beginner. It's okay not to be good at it. It's okay not to have the flashiest workout gear. It's okay to rest. Make sure you do rest, especially if you're doing high intensity workouts. And then maybe share the experience with someone. Maybe you invite a coworker, friend, sibling, spouse, or maybe you find someone to befriend at your class or your gym, and maybe you just hang out before, after, during your workout, or maybe you go grab breakfast afterward, or you go grab a drink afterward. And I understand the idea of going for a drink after a workout may seem like taboo, but if that's something you enjoy, like for me, I don't want anyone to cut out foods they like. Maybe a nice beverage that they like. You still have to live your life and you still get to enjoy your life. Fitness is just part of your life. If you want to shift your mindset towards, I want my body to be healthy and strong and well, and I want my body to be healthy over the long term, regular movement and physical activity is going to be part of your life on a, if not daily, a weekly basis. And so you're not necessarily giving up living your life. You're just adding fitness into your life already. So sharing physical activity with someone, maybe being able to hang out with them outside of your workout. So it's just a benefit. Like once you find something that you enjoy doing, sometimes you can join clubs. You can join a running club, a biking club, bicycling club. Maybe if you do CrossFit, when you start doing activities, you're going to end up running into other people who like doing that activity if you're outside of your house. And you're going to run across people who just have similar mindsets and a similar mindset and similar interests to you. And that's just a perk of it. So I think fitness is for everyone. Not every type of fitness is for everyone, but there is a fitness activity for everyone. And I think it's a gift, and God gave us the bodies we have. And I think it's important to take care of them and keep them as healthy as we can keep them, but also enjoy the things that we are blessed with in our lives. So I hope this gives you some reassurance, some encouragement to try something out and incorporate physical activity into your life. If you guys have made it to the end, go ahead and leave the bicep emoji down in the comments if you're listening on YouTube. And if you are someone who's looking for a community that's has a mindset that wants to have a healthy relationship with food and fitness and just a healthy lifestyle all around, I encourage you to subscribe. And if you're listening on podcast, I'd love it if you would go ahead and follow and rate and review either on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or maybe wherever you're listening. I would be grateful if you would. If you're interested in more content, go ahead and click here on screen. I will leave a link to another episode down below in the show notes if you're listening on podcast, and I will see you guys there.